Why MrBeast's brother didn't sorry. Why MrBeast's brother didn't succeed on YouTube? Did he not? Let's check it out.
MrBeast.
It looks like he's verified.
Did a pretty reasonable job of maintaining an average career monthly view count of between 1 and 4 million. However, he'd post a total of only 29 full-length videos before disappearing from the channel around 10 months ago. It's when we take a quick glance over these 29 full-length videos that we begin to notice the very first reason as to why CJ was unable to find success to the same degree that his brother had, being that the MrBro videos were...
That's really weird. That you... Like, I mean, it says, like, why MrBeast's brother didn't succeed on YouTube. He very clearly succeeded. This is obviously clickbait, which is, like, whatever. But then, to the same extent, like, yeah, of course not. I mean, okay. These are good views, bro. I would have kept making content.
Almost indistinguishable from Mr.
Let me see something. Hold on.
Beast. However, he'd post a total of only 29 full-length videos.
I just want to see something.
Of between 1 and 4 million. However,
I just want to see some of this stuff here, because I'm looking at his... I wanted to see if, like, after Sunny made these videos, if the view count went up on this guy's videos.
He'd post...
It doesn't seem like it did. It was just cute. Actually, no, they went up slightly. One of them went up a couple thousand. Okay.
Just a total of only... It's when we take a quick glance over these 29 full-length videos that we begin to notice the very first reason as to why CJ was unable to find success to the same degree that his brother had, being that...
And the reason is because it's just hard to do that. Like, that's why. And he's also uglier, honestly. But okay, there's nothing wrong with that, bro.
The MrBro videos were almost indistinguishable from MrBeast's, giving it this feeling of off-brandedness as opposed to its own fresh project. The editing, ideas, and thumbnails were basically identical to MrBeast, whilst the crew, which included...
Yeah, but you don't understand.
The editing, ideas, and thumbnails were...
This is a $1,000 cake. Okay, you don't know how much this cake costs.
Basically identical to MrBeast, whilst the crew, which included individuals such as Chandler's brother, didn't exactly feel all that creative or nuanced. CJ equals Jimmy, Zach equals Chandler, Tyler equals Chris. Together, they are the budget MrBeast team. It was as if he was the exact same as MrBeast, while at the same time being the complete opposite. The reason for this will be explained during CJ's first major appearance on YouTube, in which Jimmy would explain the extent to which MrBro was going to be guided by MrBeast.
Okay. You have 5 helpers, a warehouse, office space. You got a $100,000 starting budget. We're doing your thumbnails for you, and we're helping you think of content.
Aren't you editing too?
I'm shouting you out and giving you over 1 million subscribers.
Now, it seemed like Jimmy was trying to teach his brother how to fish as opposed to giving him a fish, which was certainly the right approach in this scenario.
Well, it seemed more like he was giving him a fish, because he's like, we already got the video concept. Did he not say that?
To teach his brother.
Too.
I'm shouting you out and giving you over 1 million subscribers. And we're helping you think of content.
Yeah, they're helping you think of content. It seems like they're kind of giving him ideas. So from when watching this, it seems like the reason why their content was so identical was because MrBeast was giving him identical video ideas. He's treating like a Make-A-Wish video, I guess so, kinda, yeah. That would explain why they was very similar.
Set up for CJ in a way where he could achieve instant success whilst learning about YouTube in the process. The problem was that since CJ had absolutely no prior experience with YouTube, he wasn't really mixing these systems with his own pre-developed style or self-learned knowledge, and as a result was rather just replicating MrBeast's branding in its entirety, giving it somewhat of an inauthentic feeling.
With Jimmy's mindset with giving money away, being a philanthropist, doing all the great things that he does every single day to make a difference in people's lives, I have that same mindset, and I also want to do the same thing just like my brother.
Now, it's probably safe to say that this was being done somewhat deliberately, so MrBro could capitalize on MrBeast's existing brand, and in a lot of ways, there was massive upside to this approach. We say that MrBro quote,
I mean, his videos were popular, he should just kept doing it.
Unquote, didn't succeed because we're comparing him to MrBeast. However, compared to any other new channel, his beginning was explosive. He did over 10 million views within his first 2 months on the
easy. I wish.
Platform. He'd cross over the 1 million subscriber mark prior to even that, and his continual ability to gain upwards of 1 million views per upload, even after the initial shout out, would have without a doubt been, at least in part, a result of him having the ability to replicate the MrBeast success formula almost in its entirety. Additionally, being so similar to Jimmy, many could mark.
Instead of eating $1,000 cake, what if I made a video, hear me out, where I ate $1,000 worth of cum? Do you think that would be do you think that would be popular? That'd be incredible. How do you think I could post that? Is that something I could post on social media? Maybe I'd post on Pornhub.
marketed himself as MrBeast's brother with a similar profile picture and all, giving him a continual attachment to MrBeast's relevancy. However, it was clear that being so similar to MrBeast also put a bad taste in
I spent 24 hours in a pool of ramen noodles. I thought it said in a poo. That'd be cooler.
some of his audience's mouths, judging from this Reddit post with over 1,000 upvotes, which was titled, "Guess MrBro is just straight up copying his brother now," written in what seemed to be somewhat of a negative tone.
Probably.
Being marketed as MrBeast's brother also had its own disadvantages. It's likely that many of MrBro's views were coming from people clicking on the videos to see what a video by MrBeast's brother looks like, as opposed to clicking on the video for the title, thumbnail, and idea itself.
Yeah. I mean, I think that for more than anything else, I mean, like, that's probably the reason he left, is because he was just feeling like a copycat of his brother and he felt shitty about it. So
this was probably a huge advantage for MrBro's click-through rate. If people were clicking on the videos to simply observe the differences and similarities between the two brothers, there was no requirement to watch the full video. As a result, it's unlikely that CJ's watch time and audience retention was anything close to Jimmy's, which would have been a further disadvantage against CJ's channel. This sentiment of being too similar to MrBeast can be felt further when looking at the comments on the Gamer from Mars video from about a year ago, made on a similar topic to this one. He tried to promote himself as MrBeast's brother, not CJ. You cannot try to be a carbon copy of something when you're just not. As always, MrBeast's brother should just be himself. That isn't a surefire path to success, but it's important to the longevity of the channel. Simple answer: if I'm going to watch MrBeast's content, I'm going to watch it from MrBeast, not the great value version. He needs to do his own thing. The problem with these
drink $1,000 worth of mug root beer. That's a good idea. These are good ideas, guys.
comments is that differentiating yourself from others is substantially easier said than done. It's a multi-year process. Every YouTuber goes through this. You begin by replicating someone you really like, which was where CJ was at. Then as time progresses, you discover your own nuances, try your own tricks, and develop your own style. However, CJ might have stopped uploading before getting to that point where he could shoot off in his own direction. But again, this goes back to the problem of being branded as MrBeast's brother. Can he even shoot off in his own direction if he needs to maintain that image? Additionally, is he going to be able to develop his own style if the editing, thumbnails, and ideas are all being done for him? Is he going to be able to formulate a baseline understanding of what does and doesn't work on the platform if he isn't learning?
On average, sperm donors are paid between $100 and $150 per donation per visit. Donating 1 to 2 times a week, donors earn an average of $4,000 in 6 months. Wait, so let's say $100 of cum. Let's just go off of how much they pay people for cum. $100 for like a thing of cum. So that's only 10 jizzes worth of cums, or 10 cums worth of jizz. You know what I'm saying? That's not that much. You really get $100 per cum donation? I feel like that's too much money. Money per sperm donation. Wow. So apparently, I don't know if anybody can do it, but they get $100. So it's $70 at the time of the donation, another $30 when the sample is released. Healthy men are able to earn up to what does it take to be a sperm donor? How do I do that? Oh my god, Jesus, sneezes. Incredible. I probably wouldn't pass it though, because I feel like I'm on medications. So there's actually a study that was just done about the sperm count of people with with the metformin, which I take for my diabetes. So, but either way, volume wise, I could shoot probably like 5 loads is worth of most other people's 10 loads. So just shoot 5 loads and that's $1,000 worth of cum. This is disgusting.
Everything himself from the ground up. This question highlights another point that's worth diving into, being that CJ never really got the opportunity to go through that rocky patch of developing an intuitive foundational understanding for why certain videos do and don't work, usually achieved through a bunch of early failure. Now you could probably argue that this is somewhat unimportant because it can be taught, but only to a certain extent. You learn a little bit by someone else telling you about their failure or something they've learned, but you learn a whole lot more when you put an entire week's worth of work into something that you think will be a banger before uploading it for 100 views. He never went through the hard work from the years before you get popular, so he doesn't know what it's like. You have to start with the corny videos. Therefore, he's not getting enough views. The other problem with skipping this early rough patch is that you potentially fail to develop a deeply meaningful long-term story associated with the channel that you've built. In the case of MrBeast, for example, much of his strong public image and goodwill comes from the obvious vibe that he's been to hell and back in order to get to his current position.
I remember when Jimmy was 14 years old, in his room, editing his videos super late at night of Minecraft, literally just to post it and get maybe 100, 200 views.
His 10 plus years worth of experience.
That's why you just don't edit any videos, guys. Just take it from me.
From every fiber in his being, adding this indescribable flavor of confidence to his videos. CJ or MrBro, on the other hand, even with a similar success formula to MrBeast, still gives off the energy that he's a bit of a newbie. His lack of confidence shines through and it can be felt by the audience. CJ just needs to have more confidence.
I think it would be better if, so this is the dynamic I think. So what MrBro should have done to be successful is what he should have done is he should have done a similar content style to MrBeast, where like, well, I don't know a lot. I think he donates money to stuff and does like some fun challenges, except he gets all the people that he works with to bully him relentlessly to the brink of self-harm. And then they're like, no, we're just kidding, Jimmy, or we're just kidding, MrBro, and we all have a good laugh. You know, it's like MrBeast, but like really abusive. That's the spin it needed. All you had to do was hire me, and I could have made this boom. It would be more popular than MrBeast because it would be so fucked up. It would have been, or that's good to hold on. Or maybe instead of doing what MrBeast does, he does the opposite. He just steals money from people, like a corporation. You know, like the ones that work like how Nestle funnels water from surrounding areas and then sells it back to people for like actual money instead of letting them have healthy water. That's what he couldn't have done. Instead, like, I'm giving a homeless guy $1,000. He's like, I'm gonna steal $1,000 from this homeless guy. Does he even have the money? That's the thumbnail question mark. You know, that would be super cool. That would be cool. Or maybe if they don't have the money, he just pushes them off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? Makes them fight for it. I'm gonna put this family into $75,000 worth of credit card debt. Find out how I let them escape it. And then he puts the whole family into like a gladiator ring and they have to fight to the literal death. The winner gets out and they get absolved of their credit card debt. But not all of it. Just like most of it. So they still like, now it's like the dad wins probably because the dad, you know, and the dad wins, but he's like, okay, you still have $15,000 worth of debt. So like it's manageable with like a financial officer, but like it sucks. You know, that would be incredible. That would be fucking incredible. That was so fucked up.
His creativity and how he directs the videos. When you watch MrBeast, he's very likable and entertaining because he always has a plan and knows how to keep things rolling. CJ understandably looks a little uncomfortable, so he doesn't seem to have full enough control of his content. The other problem associated with not developing a meaningful long-term story is that there's probably minimal emotional connection to the channel, making it pretty simple to quit out of the blue without feeling as though you're giving up on multiple years of hard work. There are so many YouTubers who are no longer achieving the same level of success as they were in their prime, yet continue to upload videos to a dwindling audience.
That's why they call it their prime, you know?
Presumably because it's extremely hard to walk away from a project or brand that you've invested years of time into. Meanwhile, CJ seemed to have the
Is there a SunnyV2 video on go back? Alright, I'm just gonna use this.
Presumably because it's extremely hard to walk away from a
The Disheartening Downfall of H3. Oh, maybe I should watch that.
Project or brand that you've invested years of time into. Meanwhile, CJ seemed to have the opposite experience of this. There was a total of only 1 year and 9 months between his first and last upload, which might not have been enough time to cement his identity as a YouTuber, resulting in minimal downside or regret if he were to remove himself from the platform.
And have a bunch of families that are poor and fight other families, fight to the death to gain money. Dude, you know what would be cool? You have a bunch, just check this out. Listen, hear this out. You take like 5 poor families and you have them fight, like you have them do like, you know the show Hole in the Wall, where you have to do like funny little antics? Hole in the Wall, except for basically Squid Games, where they legitimately die. And then at the end, the winner gets the life insurance policies of all the losers. But here's the surprise twist ending. They're poor, so they couldn't afford life insurance. So the winner has to live with themselves. How incredible would that be? That would be such a compelling story. That would be incredible. It would be incredible.
You just work like hell, to be honest, for 10 years. Like, there's probably a good chance you'll make it. But if you do that over the course of 6 months or a year, I don't know, you know?
This also highlights that maybe CJ was never actually making videos because he enjoyed the content creation process. Maybe he'd simply seen MrBeast insane.
Yeah, no one knows until the end. That's why it's a surprise twist ending.
Level of success and was subsequently too focused on the potential rewards, whilst the required level of natural motivation never really existed in
100,000. It's so weird that he gave him $100,000 to spend in a day. You know what I would do? By car, something. I wouldn't buy a $100,000 car. Maybe, well, I guess maybe I would if it's maybe like an $80,000 car. I buy a camper. Those are expensive. I don't know.
In the first place. Yeah, he sees his brother's success and wants to be just as successful. Problem is he can't come up with his own content, so he just looks bad.
I think that the problem is just that like a bunch of not YouTube, but like a bunch of like Reddit nobodies are giving Hitler, being like, oh, you're doing the same thing as MrBeast, and this guy like let it get to his head and stopped making content because he felt bad about it. I think that's really where it boils down to. Like,
Try to watch him to support him despite not liking his stuff, but I really can't. It's a waste of my time to try. Sorry if that's harsh, but it's my honest opinion. MrBro is not his brother. We could go deeper and say that maybe he did want to be a YouTuber, yet the type of videos that he was making weren't really what CJ wanted to make authentically. However, he had no option but to make the videos he was making, as he was replicating MrBeast's formula and wasn't following his own genuine curiosity or genre that he enjoyed. MrBeast is often seen discussing the importance of video ideas, stating that if anyone were to apply his viral ideas to their own channel, they would go viral as well.
Obviously, a lot of it is just in the ideas. Like anyone, if they did this, it would have gone viral. Yeah.
So if anything, at least MrBro was an interesting experiment to see how viral you could.
I guess. I wonder what context. I mean, like a lot of being popular is luck based, you know? Like you put hard work in, but then you're also like really lucky, you know what I mean? Oh, okay.
Make a brand new channel go if it was set up for success.
It's just like weird to me. Like, I'm not going to speak specifically to MrBeast because I don't know him specifically and I didn't listen to that podcast. But it's always weird when people like get successful. Like, this is the secret to success when it comes to like internet virality success, which is totally different than like general success to people. Where it's like you got like a big part of your formula. It was probably hard work and whatnot, but it's also profound luck. And then to say like I have the secret to success, you probably don't. Like, you probably couldn't really. Like, for me, I became successful. I'm not anywhere near the success of these people, but I became successful on TikTok because the biggest part was that it was like TikTok existed and I was able to do it over the summer. And I would do commentary in like a very politically and socially charged moment where a lot of the watch time on the app was up substantially because nobody was out working. So I could never explain, how do you replicate success, Papa? Hope for a pandemic that kills people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't emulate that because that was a big part of my success. The unfortunate reality, and I would obviously trade it. I wish the pandemic never happened because my uncle passed away and he's like a father to me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only reason. Like, that's a big reason why I got successful. Right place, right time, massive amount of luck. So it's always weird when people who get like really popular, like they talk about how they became successful in a way where it's like, you could do it too. I didn't watch the whole MrBeast conversation. I'm not even saying that he did that. I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, it's a really bizarre experience when people do that.
By one of YouTube's greatest creators. Plus, there's really nothing stopping CJ from coming back and continuing on from where he left off if he has a change of heart toward the platform. MrBro, the brother of...
Okay, cool video. Very popular. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.